Well, we've got some breaking news to share with you. Hedera has officially been selected, and this has just been announced by Hedera themselves, to facilitate the Wyoming stable coin. Now, this is the first US state-issued stable coin, and Hedera has been selected to conduct this. This is huge news. We're going to get into this. Hedera have just dropped this information over the past couple of hours, and we like to keep you up to date as timely as humanly possible. If you're not already a subscriber, do become one. Here we have it from the horse's mouth. This is the Hedera official X account. Hedera has been selected for the Wyoming's Frontier Stable Token, FRNT. Who comes up with these names, by the way? The first US state-issued stable token, trusted, fast, and compliant. I believe that's referring to Hedera. The future of public sector payments is here. And we are going to go to the read more section. You can see this is their post about it. Now, this is just breaking. Don't worry, we'll be reminding you of all the other connections that we have in regards to people choosing to issue on Hedera. Other governments or central banks, we'll talk about that in just a second. We know that the Reserve Bank of Australia is currently piloting Hedera for wholesale CBDCs and stablecoins. We know that Filipino banks are set to launch a multi-issuer stablecoin, PHPX, on Hedera. And of course, we know about the AUDD. And we did a video just the other day on how MTech and Hedera are effectively working with the likes of the Bank of Ghana, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Central Bank of Liberia, the Bank of Sierra Leone, the Central Bank of the Republic of Guinea, the Central Bank of Gambia, and the Central Bank of the Bahamas. But we shall get into that in just a second. Let's report on this news. So this is the official document. Now, this is from the 29th of August, so last month, 2025. It's from the State of Wyoming Stable Token Commission. And this has just dropped today. This is interesting stuff. Blockchain Selection Exercise Q2 2025 Final Assessment Memo. Review of Q2 2025 assessment of potential candidate blockchains on which Wyoming stable token may be launched in the future. This is huge. It says, authority. The commission may issue Wyoming stable tokens as provided in this act. This may provide for matters related to the issuance of Wyoming stable tokens, including the types of Wyoming stable tokens to be issued, the supply characteristics for each type, the means used to issue, maintain and manage the Wyoming stable token, and the manner of and requirements for redemption. The candidate blockchain is Hedera and the score is 25. One of the highest scoring DLTs, ladies and gentlemen. The director's recommendations. The director recommends the commission make one motion to, big approved there down at the bottom, approve the addition of Hedera as a candidate blockchain on which the Wyoming stablecoin may be launched in the future. Boom. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive over to the official Hedera press release. This says, Hedera selected for Wyoming Frontier Stable Token. What an awful name. I'm sorry, it just doesn't sit right with me that. They could have come up with so many cooler things. The first US state-issued stablecoin, Hedera, to bring trusted and fast and compliant stable token infrastructure to the public sector. The Wyoming Stablecoin Token Commission announced at the last commission meeting, zoom in for this for you guys a little bit so you can read along with me, that the Frontier Stable Token, the first state-issued stable token in the United States, will soon also be available on Hedera, a trusted public network governed by leading global institutions. Hedera was selected as the only additional blockchain to be a candidate for the FRNT. Even the acronym isn't great. During the Commission's Q2 evaluation, having met stringent criteria for speed, reliability, and regulatory alignment, FRNT was created under the Wyoming Stablecoin Token Act of 2023 as the first US state-issued stablecoin token. It is fully backed by the US dollar and short-term treasuries. Remember, this is the agenda, with an additional 2% reserve to ensure stability. The token is designed to demonstrate how digital assets can enhance public finance by enabling faster, more transparent, and more efficient payments. Beyond its technical benefits, FRNT directly serves the public. Interest earned from the treasury purchases funded by the program will be directed to Wyoming's School Foundation program. Sounds rather noble, doesn't it? Supporting education across the state. Unlike some of the other stablecoin issuers that don't actually give you the yield on it, they keep it for themselves, and that's their entire business model. It's kind of like what banks have been doing to us this whole time, isn't it? And it's amazing how crypto's kind of awakening everyone to the corrupt BS world of banking, certainly central banking and the cartel that is. Anyway, I digress. Our goal with FRNT is to set a new standard for how states leverage digital assets to better serve the public, said Anthony Apollo, Executive Director of the Wyoming Stable Token Commission. The commission selected Hedera for candidacy because its technological edge aligns with our commitment to security and compliance. Ooh, real compliments there. Hedera was chosen for FRNT, there's the acronym again, because it delivers what modern payments require. Fast settlement, predictable costs, and trusted governance. Hedera's transactions on Hedera finalize in seconds with low fixed fees, making it suitable for everything from retail purchasing and tax refunds to real-time disaster relief and instant public payroll systems. You are going to see, mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, remember Allincrypto said this, or Rupert as you now know me. You are going to see governments directly leverage this technology. In fact, you've already seen it with what the Secretary for Commerce has done, Howard Lutnick, actually moving data on-chain. Mark my words on that. It says the network is carbon negative and capable of processing 10,000 transactions per second, delivering the scale and sustainability needed for real-world finance, whilst Hedera's governing council model ensures regulatory alignment and long-term stability. It says, this is from Mance himself, the sort of co-founder of Hedera. Hedera is already trusted by governments and enterprises, moving from pilots to real-world adoption. There's a lot you guys probably don't know about and I don't know about. I maybe have a little bit of an insight, hence why I'm so bullish on all of this, said Mance Herman, co-founder of Hedera and chairman of the Hedera Council. Wyoming's selection of Hedera shows how responsible innovation can deliver real-world financial solutions, setting a precedent for other states and ultimately the world to follow. FRNT has been piloted for use in areas such as contractor payments, emergency disbursements, and other public services. More information on how to purchase FRNT on Hedera will be available soon. This is coming, the first US state-backed cryptocurrency or US stablecoin on Hedera. Huge news, and this is a common theme, really, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to Hedera being chosen to launch stablecoins. This is from AUDD. They launch on Hedera, becoming the network's first commercial implementation of the Hedera stablecoin studio. Pretty huge news. It's the Australian digital dollar. We know what's happening over in the Philippines. We've already spoken about it earlier this year. Filipino banks plan to launch multi-issuer stablecoin PHPX on Hedera's DLT, working with some of the the Philippines' largest banks. We know what's happening over with Project Acacia and the Reserve Bank of Australia. That's Australia's central bank. We go down here, we can see the projects that were chosen. Hedera, including Hedera, Red Belly Network, R3 Corridor, Canvas Connect, and other EVM compatible networks. Hedera is one of the only ones. And I spoke to you guys just yesterday about how Hedera and MTech or MTech that leverages Hedera, partner with Hedera, only blockchain on here alongside IBM, Microsoft, and the Digital Dollar Project. MTech essentially leverage Hedera and are working with the likes of the Bank of Ghana, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Central Bank of Liberia, the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, the Central Bank of the Republic of Guinea, the Central Bank of Gambia, and the Central Bank of the Bahamas. Could the picture be more of a clear one when it comes to Hedera Hashgraph? It is clearly being chosen by large enterprises and now governments and states. And from a price point of view, I know you're all probably fed up. This is progression, in my opinion. We have been accumulating throughout this entire time period. when we think markets are in a cumulative phase. Then we had this 8% break that we're still up from. We benefited from pretty much the bulk of that, 700+%. Then you had a pullback back to support where you broke out from, and now you're bouncing, and you will see continuation in the future, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely my opinion. A lot of you have been asking me to get back to some price-orientated videos. Don't you worry, we will be. Ultimately, a lot of the price predictions that we've given are very much still intact, and we ultimately think that Hedera holders have a sensational time ahead of them. And I think fundamentally that's very much the case. Technically, that's very much the case from a price point of view. We just need to see these things come to pass. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you all in the next one.